Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into another important topic for C Sharp developers. Why you should never return null collections in your code. Let's break it down. In C Sharp, it's common to return collections like list or enumerable. But what happens when you return null? This can cause serious issues in your code, especially when iterating over collection in a loop. Think about it. You might be expecting to loop over a collection, but if your method returns null, the code will break unless you check for every time, like this. Constantly adding null checks can make your code messy and harder to read, and worse, if the calling code doesn't handle the null case, it could blow up at runtime. These runtime errors can be tricky to diagnose, especially in large applications. Some might argue that returning null expresses intent, like indicating that the collection doesn't exist. But I believe this approach creates more problem than it solves. Let's take a look here. So as you see in this method, we are getting user permissions from this method, and we have a loop over here. So if we return null in this method, whenever we are iterating and whenever we have some for each loop on this collection, we will get null reference exception. That's a problem that we wanna avoid it. So what should you return instead of null? Here are some better solutions. Using one of these solutions, enumerable.empty, array.empty, new list, or a new feature of C Sharp 12 which is collection expression. So let's check this solution with an example. So suppose that we have a method for getProduct in category, and whenever the category ID is null, you are returning null. So as we talked in this case, we will get an null reference exception whenever you are iterating uh, on this enumerable. So for avoiding this kind of issue, you can simply return enumerable.empty with the object of the return type. Another case is using array.empty. So here the result object is an array. Instead of returning null, you need to simply return array.empty as described here. Next solution would be whenever we are returning a list of object. So instead of returning null directly, you can use new list of the object type. And the last one is using collection expression. So for example here the return type is list customer. Instead of returning null, just use return, which is a new feature of C Sharp 12. In short, avoiding return null collection. Use one of these alternatives to make your code cleaner, safer, and more readable. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tips. Thanks for watching and happy coding!